So we're on to mission 3. I don't think this one's as hard as the second mission. I think it's a bit trickier though. I'll get into it once we've gone through the tabs. But like, this one's pretty easy to complete. But the main way you're supposed to complete the mission is super hard. But yeah, let's go through the tabs. I'll get into it once we've gone through these and explored it a bit more. So our main objective for the mission is we need to retrieve a VIP whose plane has crashed and he's been taken prisoner. He's currently in this prison camp.
The colonel has been held prisoner over 12 hours. You must rescue the colonel and bring him
Oh,
back.
okay. It's one of the things I really like about this game is the extra attention to detail when it comes to making it feel a bit more engaging. Like the fact we got a picture of the guy. I mean, we're just playing a game. We never actually see the guy as such, but we get this little picture of him. I think that's a neat little touch.
You must rescue the colonel and bring him back.
And it's like the way the missions are just played out on these hexagonal fields, but we still get like a little intro cutscene for the mission. Yeah, okay. Oh wow, look at that. That's a lot of guys. Okay, so they've got no air support and we've got no air support, though they've got a lot of ground units. And I think we have 4 guys, or 4 girls. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so basically what we need to do is we'll be on a submarine, we surface here. Calls it a cargo bird. It's basically like a huge cruise missile that carries power loaders and also the pilots inside the power loaders. That gets launched from the submarine, I think as we see in the cutscene, and fired here. This is where the prison camp is. As you know, the game is played out on a hexagonal battlefield, and the prison camp is just like a cluster of little buildings in hexagons. Yeah, hexagons. And the Lieutenant Colonel Weiler, is it? Yeah, Willer would be 2 L's, wouldn't it? Weiler, I guess, is in one of those buildings. So what basically happens is we're dropped in, we only have 4 dolls. We need to secure the prison camp. There's like enemy units guarding it. Once we knock those out, we then need to go into the prison camp and examine all the little buildings, well, search the buildings for the Lieutenant Colonel. Once we found him, we'll move from here down to the delta, which is this area. So it doesn't really explain it very well in the mission or in the text, but what you need to do is once you've got him, there's like a little sliver of land here, you can see it on the map. You need to position your units there, and if you're in time, you'll be rescued by the Aquarius, is it? And that's mission complete. So that's the ideal way it's supposed to be done. Unfortunately, the mission constraints are ridiculous for this mission. Finding the Colonel and escaping in 35 minutes, I think, is almost literally impossible. Unless you're super lucky. Because I think it takes at least, I want to guess like 30-40 minutes to get down here. Like basically what you need to do is once you drop there, you take out the guard units around the prison, and then you find the colonel, and then you basically have to drop all your weapons, or for almost everybody. You can maybe leave one unit with weapons to sort of slow down the enemy, and then just rush down here to try and escape. So basically what happens is once you do find him, or almost as soon as you land in the mission, the units it showed on the map earlier, the enemy units, they're all up here, swarm onto the map. So basically usually by the time you've retrieved the colonel, they'll be chasing after you down this road. So yeah, I think maybe keep one unit as backup and just use that unit to slow down the encroaching enemy while the rest of your team escapes. It is a difficult one though. The thing is though, there's multiple ways to complete it, and they're fairly easy I think. Well, the other ones aside from the main way to resolve the mission are pretty easy. Like the way you're supposed to do it is you do this, you find him and you rush down here, and then if you're in time you escape in the Aquarius. What happened is you do get 2 extensions on the time, so even though it says it's 35 minutes, I think you get an extra, is it quarter of an hour, then another quarter of an hour, or 20 minutes and then 20 minutes, something like that. We'll see once we get into the mission, but you get a couple of extensions on the time, and it's just about enough if you're really rushing to get down there. But then if you don't get down there in time, you can still sort of win the mission. So what happens is if you don't escape in time, the submarine just leaves, but you can still win the mission, sort of. You can either kill the colonel once that happens and then just escape, or you can escape with the colonel, like up here I think it was. I think I did that the first time through because I didn't expect the mission to be as ridiculously constrained as it was. And it's like you escape into the mountains or something, you hide out there until you're recovered, which worked out pretty well for me. I think one of the dolls went missing for a mission or two, or maybe 2 of them did, but then I got 2 more back, the 2 others back, so it wasn't too bad. I mean, it's only 4 dolls in total, so if you do lose them for like a mission or 2, it's not too bad, I don't think anyway. We do have plan options with this one. Have to say though, there's not much point in them, at least I don't think so, because basically what happens is if you change plan, yeah, if you look, so basically it's changing the time at which we hit the prison camp. The thing is though, I'm not sure what that really affects, because like if you change time, that affects, I think basically what happens is they move him around the prison camp. They move while around the prison camp. So what time you pick affects which building in the prison camp he's going to be in. But then since you don't know when you start which building in the prison camp he's going to be in anyway, what difference does it matter if we change the time, if that makes sense? Like I've never found any reason as to why changing the time helps you, you know? Like, I mean, there's nothing, as far as I can see, there's nothing in the text descriptions or any of this that explains or gives you a hint as to which time might be best to go at. And as far as I know, it doesn't affect where the enemy guard units are either, so generally speaking it's a bit pointless. But I think what we'll go for, we obviously need to take Hardy Newland because she'll always come back. And I think generally speaking we want to take power dolls with the best AP stats, because like I say, it will just be a rush down to the bottom of the map. So you're going to need, well, you're going to need good running shoes, but also good running stats as well. Did we put her in? Yeah. God damn it, did I give her a... God damn it. Sorry. So with this mission, I usually go for a lighter loadout. There's really no point in carrying lots and lots of guns. You want to have enough guns to take out the few enemy units guarding the prison camp, and then that's basically it. I usually carry 2 arm weapons and then 1 shoulder weapon for each doll. Usually avoid the assault, the weapons that do less damage, like say the assault rifle that I usually take on a mission. Yeah, I guess I could do that. So I think what I might try to do is make Hardy the person who stays behind, just because. Yeah, I guess that's a good enough loadout for her, isn't it? Just because she always comes back. I think she pretty much always comes back to the next mission. I guess she's a bit like a Terminator in that aspect. Part of the problem with this mission as well is when you do land, the spots where the enemy units are positioned, I think they're in cover, or they're either higher up or lower than you are, so it's hard to target them. So like picking the assault rifle, even if you did want to use it, ignoring the fact it doesn't do much damage and we need to be as effective as possible. Once we land outside the prison camp, because of the way the map works, I presume it's on like a hill rather than being lower down. You have to either use indirect fire to target the enemies in the prison camp or around the prison camp, or like missiles, I guess. Or you need to mount the summit and then attack them from there. But obviously that means taking fire from them. I'm gonna guess this is a decent loadout. I'm not really sure. I mean, basically all we need to do is just take out the units. I guess I could give. I was thinking maybe I could give her a Drew 15 rather than a Drew 35. Okay, I mean, we'll stick with that. Yeah, I think another thing to consider is I think it's better to use can be better to use grenades over missiles as well. Like, as I say, you have to be able to see the enemy to be able to fire at them for this battle. It's only a short battle, but I think it can be better sometimes to just take grenades, even though they might not be as effective. But on the flip side as well, I think they do use shields more. Like they use the cover command more in this. So I don't know. It's something to weigh up. But yeah, I think we have a decent loadout anyway. I mean, as long as we don't mind them taking some fire, and we can get the rest of the team and Weiler out, we should be okay. But yeah, I think that's good enough. I mean, with 4 dolls, there's not really too much you can go into, is there? Oh man, I love this music.
Server Foxes, we are at the drop point. 2 more minutes to jettison depth. Mission orders confirmed.
Oh man, this looks amazing.
Bird. Repeat, prepare for cargo bird jettison.
So if you watch this, it shows us being catapulted across the map.
Well, does secret weapon work? All on board.
Oh, okay.
Yep, okay.
Kind of ruined by the awful
10 seconds.
voiceover.
8, 7. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Good luck. Separation
There we go.
successful. Fire booster. Start landing.
Okay, no, it's 4 separate missiles, is it? I thought it was 1 missile. Okay, and we've landed. So yeah, this is something I forgot to mention as well. We land at separate spots. Which is a bit of a pain, so we need to move in quickly. Move up on the prison camp. So if you look, I presume it's lifted, like it's like on a hill, but it's hard to tell with the way the graphics in the game work. It could be that it's lower down, but then I think if it was lower down, wouldn't we be able to see, like if we're stood here, we'd be able to see down into the prison camp? But then yeah, that doesn't make much sense, does it? Like if we're looking up, we should be able to see those first, shouldn't we, if we scan? Rather than these guys. But then if we were looking down, like the lip of the wall around it might obscure the closest units. I don't know. Not even sure. Yeah, not too much to deal with here. I think all these units are shielded though, that's the problem. Can you use the grenades on them actually? So what we'll want to do is we'll want to get eyes on as soon as possible, and then just yeah, just do this basically. So I think pretty much all these squares have units on them. Oh come on. Seriously? Okay. It's not going to go well, is it? They're probably going to be able to open fire on us straight away. Oh, okay, yeah, no.